Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a brand new pick a card for you guys today, and today we are looking at some fun-filled 4th of July forecast messages for you. So yes, this reading is going up today on the 4th of July. I had originally intended to try and get it up a couple of days before the 4th of July, but life sometimes happens, and unfortunately that just didn't wind up happening, but I was determined to make sure to get it up on the 4th of July, at least, if nothing at all. So, here we are, here it is, and when you do check out these messages, even if you check it out after the 4th of July has come and gone and it's over, I would still definitely see if these messages align and resonate for you, because ultimately this is kind of intended to be for the entire 4th of July season. So really kind of like the entire week of the 4th of July. A lot of times people take time off for the holiday, people go on vacations, that kind of thing. So really kind of look at this as an extension of just that one day being Independence Day. So it doesn't have to be just about the 4th of July, but it could be about the 3rd of July or the 7th of July or the 10th of July. So kind of just take it where it resonates, but either way, that's kind of the energy that we're looking into right now, just a general pick a card reading for that. And let me get into these piles here and introduce you to our piles so you guys know what to decide. So because it is the 4th of July, I wanted to try and make it at least as patriotic as I could. I don't really have many 4th of July decorations, and the decorations that I do have are like too big to be put on a table for a pick a card. So I went with crystals, naturally. And I just decided to go with like a red, white, and blue kind of theme with these crystals. Even though they don't necessarily look super red, white, and blue, they are. So pile number 1 right here, we have this little dog carving, and this dog carving is red jasper. So that is why I chose him for pile number 1. This is our red group out of the red, white, and blue. So red jasper dog carving for pile number 1. Pile number 2 is our white group, which is going to be this moonstone. A lot of moonstone is kind of more in a white color. So if you resonate with moonstone or just the color white in general, this may be the pile for you for pile number 2. Pile number 3 is blue calcite. So, it's definitely blue, without a doubt. It's in the name. So we have some raw blue calcite for pile number 3, rounding up our total here of red, white, and blue for our pile choices. So go ahead and choose the pile that connects with you, that resonates with you, that you just intuitively are drawn to. Timestamps are of course going to be down below. And as always, you guys, before I dive in and jump in, I'm going to be starting here with pile number 1, the red jasper dog carving group. Before I dive in, I invite you guys to subscribe to my channel. If you're not subscribed already, welcome back if you already are. It is great to have you here. I love having you guys here. But if you're new, feel free to hit the subscribe button and also make sure to tap on that notification bell so you are notified every time a new reading goes up. You will be the first in the know about it. And also, give this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out a lot. And leave this video a comment. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started, you guys. We're going to get started here with pile number 1. Hi, pile number 1. If you chose the red jasper dog carving, then this is going to be the reading for you for your pick a card 4th of July fun reading. So I'm going to go ahead and put our little 4th of July doggy friend right here in front of the candle. and let's dive in. So I pulled some cards from 3 different decks here. We're going to get started with our tarot cards here that are at the bottom, and then we'll bring in these other 2 groups here. So we have 4 tarot cards here from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer tarot deck, which is one of my newer decks. So I'm really excited to kind of like break it in. I haven't really used it very much. I know that they use a little bit different definitions for the different suits than like normal. Like I think one of them is like stakes instead of wands. So we'll get into it. Let's just see what you guys got. Okay. So you guys have the Star. Let's go ahead and put down all the cards here for the tarot cards so we kind of know the energy of what we're dealing with. The Hierophant. So we got some major arcana coming in. The Knight of Chalices. See, this is supposed to be the Knight of Cups, but in the Buffy deck, it's Chalices. And the, oh, Roman numerals. Is this a 5? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? This is a, I think this is a 6. Oh yeah, 6. 6 of stakes. I'm sorry. I'm just really bad with Roman numerals. That's never fun. 6 of stakes. Okay. I may have to double check on that one just because of the, yeah. Okay, so let's actually dive into that. I have my little trusty guidebook here. Let's see. So stakes, yes, I was right. The stakes are the wands. So if you guys are familiar with the tarot, the 6 of stakes is also the 6 of wands. So let's just quickly see what the booklet has to say about that, because it honestly looks kind of painful, if you ask me. So here's what it says. This is the part where you've kicked a vampire in the head and run out. Virtue fluttering, and for good reason. You are absolutely killing it. Oh, okay, well, good. It's not you that's being killed, it's someone else apparently. The best part, people are taking notice. If you're sensing extra attention, it's because you've earned it. Your hard work is paying off. You're hitting targets, and although you do have some work to do, it's important to give yourself a pat on the back. Maybe several pats. A pat buffet. Well, isn't that so much fun? Actually, that does make a lot of sense. Not just in context to the other 3 cards that have come out, but normally when I see like the 6 of wands in like a traditional tarot spread, or in a traditional tarot deck, I guess you could say, it doesn't look painful like this. Usually the 6 of wands, or the 6 of stakes in this case, is a time of celebration. It's a time of joy. Which when you look at this card, just looking at it visually, that doesn't necessarily look like, oh, hey, that's a good time. But maybe it's kind of like, I don't know, pin the tail on the donkey, pin the stake on the vampire or something. So I guess you could take it that way. Anyways, so we have a time of celebration here. So you put that in conjunction to the Knight of Chalices. The Knight of Chalices usually represents someone who is coming in with basically words of affection for you. Words of love, words of affection. It's someone who's also kind of a smooth talker. That doesn't mean that what they're saying isn't genuine or isn't real, but they're definitely just very good with their words. They're very convincing is what it comes down to, and their words are definitely full of love, full of flattery. I feel like the only thing to kind of be careful of with someone who's like the Knight of Chalices is just double checking, like, you know, what are the motives behind these words? Like, do you really mean what you say kind of thing? But they very well might. And for some of you guys, this could be a romantic situation, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could be friends, it could be family, it could be a situation at work, but there's someone who's basically just like loving up on you is what it comes down to. I almost kind of get the feeling like someone who's really like double downing on like the compliments is what it comes down to. Which is why sometimes it may kind of seem like, is this really genuine? Because if they're kind of like going overboard, overkill with it, it's like, what's going on here? But I feel like if anything, the reason why this is happening is because of that Six of Wands. Because, you know, if the Six of Wands is a time of celebration, I feel like you're the one who's being celebrated right now. And I have another reason to say that, which I'm going to get to in a minute, but I feel like you're the one who's being celebrated right now. You're being recognized, just like what this card says. So, you know, whether it's, you know, in your job that you're being recognized for, or maybe someone in your family is like finally recognizing your talents, your abilities, something's being recognized here. It's like you're kind of being put on the spotlight, put on the stage kind of thing. And because people are taking notice and people are celebrating you, that's where like these kind and loving words are. So once again, I would say just like whoever this person is or people who are giving you these words of affirmation and words of love, I would definitely just, you know, make sure that their intentions are genuine, and they very well could be, especially if this is a time of celebration for you. And another reason why I feel like you're definitely being recognized right now is the star energy. And that's exactly what the star is. The star is someone who is a star. They're being noticed. They're up in the sky, kind of just like sparkling and twinkling and glittering, and everyone's noticing. You know, it's rising up into that star energy. You know, star energy is not someone who's like drowning in the ocean or, you know, burying themselves into a hole or anything like that. You know, they're rising up. You know, this is your time. This is your season to be a rising star. So, I mean, so far it looks like your 4th of July, or at least like your 4th of July holiday, the entire week is going to be very good for you. It's going to be amazing. Like I said, people are going to be recognizing you and taking notice, and it's going to be in a positive way. This is your time to shine. You know, it's like you're a little celebrity or something right now. And then we have the Hierophant. If I can pick the Hierophant up. So the Hierophant is all about our beliefs, our values, our traditions, our morals, you know, kind of like the way we see the world. So what I kind of get with this card being mixed in with these other ones is this may be the reason why you're being noticed. I feel like the reason you're being noticed is because of what you believe, because of what you value. Especially if maybe you have beliefs or values that are different from those that are around you. You know, like let's say you live in a very conservative household and everyone's very religious, and everyone that you grew up with is, you know, kind of like a conservative Christian and things like that. And maybe you were always kind of like the black sheep, and maybe you were more like liberal-minded, open-minded, that kind of thing. So, and you know, that can definitely be a very volatile situation if you're someone who is more liberal in a very conservative type of setting. So I feel like, and I'm not saying that that's what your beliefs or your values are, I'm just using that as an example, but it could be like someone in that kind of situation whose beliefs and values are being recognized. You know, it would take a lot for like, you know, that conservative Republican family member or whatever to, you know, maybe kind of let their ego go to the wayside a little bit, to release some pride and say, hey, you know what, like, you actually have a point, kind of a thing. Like, you know, maybe not everything that you say with this liberal stuff, you know, maybe it's not all nonsense kind of a thing. So that's just an example of what it could be. It doesn't mean it is. Maybe it is for you. I don't know. But it could be something completely different. But I feel like whatever it is, it revolves around your beliefs and your values, and they're being recognized. And if they're being recognized, whatever your beliefs and your values are, I feel like you may have kind of struggled with them, just because I feel like whatever the situation is, once again, I feel like you were kind of like the beautiful swan surrounded by a bunch of ducks, or the black sheep with all the white sheep, you know, something like that, where it's just like you were always the one with the different opinion, the different voice kind of a thing, and that, it, you know, it may have caused some tension in the past. But I feel like someone's hearts are being softened, they're being opened up, and they're realizing like, hey, you know, we should definitely recognize her or him, and, you know, give this person a little bit of, you know, words of love, because, you know, they are pretty amazing for who they are and what they believe in. And that's a huge thing. So that could be something that could be happening for you over the 4th of July weekend, which is amazing. Let's get into the rest of our cards and see what else is going on. So, because it is summertime, 4th of July, I decided to go with some ice cream oracle cards. So let's see what you guys got. We have cookies and cream, guilty pleasures, indulgence, and temptation. So that's interesting. Let me get the rest of what these cards are here before we find out exactly how that plays in with the rest. We have moon mist, astral travel, visions, and visitations. Neapolitan, collaboration, teamwork, and resourcefulness. And orange, enthusiasm, confidence, and courage. Okay, so I kind of see where we're going with this. So I'm going to start with moon mist here, actually. So moon mist, talking about astral travel and visitations and that kind of thing. This is definitely probably the most woo-woo card out of all the cards that have kind of come out here so far. So when I think of astral travel, you know, most people who do astral travel and that kind of thing, they're not going to be consciously aware that they're doing that unless they are already awake, unless they're already tapped in, unless they're already like very intuitive themselves. So I feel like this kind of confirms like what this Hierophant card here might be about in regards to what those beliefs and values are. So I feel like for a lot of you, the beliefs and the values are probably going to be connected to your spirituality. Doing astral travel may be one of the things that you do the most. But I definitely feel like it could be in connection to your spirituality. And yeah, and definitely that can set you apart a lot of times from other people. But yeah, I also feel like you probably wouldn't be here watching this reading right now if you weren't already a little bit intuitive yourself, if you weren't already a little bit into the woo-woo and things like that. So I definitely feel like that's what this card is here about. And I feel like with the orange card, the enthusiasm, confidence, and courage card, I feel like this is kind of all about what's been going on up here with that star card and the 6 of stakes with, you know, people recognizing you and supporting you and cheering you on and, you know, seeing you as that rising star. You know, that's a lot of enthusiastic energy right there is what it comes down to. And I feel like if anything, receiving the words of love from others around you, from people who are believing in you, I feel like that's something that's definitely giving you that confidence. And the good thing here is with having this Neapolitan coming through, saying collaboration, teamwork, and resourcefulness, I feel like this confirms that these people who are giving you the words of love and the words of encouragement and, you know, really building you up, I feel like that definitely means that they are most likely more on the genuine side than not being genuine, because I feel like these are probably people who want to work with you. They're probably people who want to collaborate with you, who want to, you know, take the next steps with you on the next steps in this journey. So I definitely feel like if you have been walking this path on your own by yourself for a significant amount of time, and maybe you're just tired and run down and you wish you had support and you wish you had others there around you, I think you're going to be getting that. I think that's coming through over the 4th of July. And as for this cookies and cream card here with the guilty pleasures, indulgence, and temptation, I was really kind of like wrapping my brain around like, what is this card here for? Because like all of this here is pretty positive stuff going on. So I was like, what the heck is this? So I feel like this is ultimately, I don't feel like this is like temptation and indulgence like in a negative connotation. I feel like if anything, when you throw it in with a bunch of positive stuff that's happening here, what it's probably referencing is like taking that moment to enjoy the guilty pleasures, taking that moment to go ahead and indulge, you know. Number one, it's a holiday week as it is, with it being the 4th of July. And number two, if this message here is resonating for you and this is something that's happening for you, like go ahead and celebrate yourself a little bit. Like it's great that other people are celebrating you, but go ahead, indulge a little bit, celebrate you a little bit. You know, I don't feel like we celebrate ourselves enough. You know, society gives us 1,000,001 reasons to knock ourselves down and basically be like, no, don't celebrate you, criticize you. So it's not a time to do that. It's a time to celebrate you. So go ahead, indulge in the fun, you know, let it loose. All right. So finally here we have a few messages from the That's So Y2K Oracle. So let's see what messages you guys got here. So we have be different, be yourself. You guys, that totally goes along with the messages that's already been coming through. Like, you probably are the one who has always been different. You know, you guys have been the red sock. I'm going that based off of all these socks here. You guys have probably always been that red sock in the white sock pile, turning everything pink. And that's okay, because that means you're making a difference. That means that you're influencing people, and you're probably influencing people for the better. And that's pretty obvious once again with everything that's been going on here. So be different, be weird, be wacky, be yourself. And I feel like you guys are very good at doing just that, like being yourself. If anything, I feel like it's harder for you guys to turn it off and to fake it than to not be yourself. So keep doing that. Keep doing that. That's amazing. That's awesome. And we have, they're going to text you. So I feel like whoever this text is coming from, whatever the message is, I feel like it's probably one of these people here who are going to just, you know, basically love up on you and show you some support, show you that they believe in you, show you that they love you, kind of a thing. So one of these words of love and affirmation could be coming in the form of a text. So you probably know who this person is better than I do. And we have give it more attention. So I feel like, I mean, once again, this is a pretty positive overall group here. I don't feel like there's, you know, a huge amount of stuff that's like, oh, you need to correct this, you need to correct that kind of a thing, which is great, because I would rather deliver uplifting, positive messages for people than ugh, you really need to like pull it together kind of messages. So yeah, I feel like if anything, give it attention. We have a lot of stuff here about, you know, being different, being yourself, rising into that star energy, maybe being a little on the woo-woo side. I feel like if anything, it's just saying, give it more attention in terms of just that, in terms of being wonderfully weird and wonderfully you. So, you know, go full throttle in it. Once again, I feel like it's more permission to do that. And finally, I heard a weird noise. I was like, what is going on over there? I think it's just my dogs. Anyways, finally, your last message here is fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So this card here is basically probably just confirmation about most likely something going on in your birth chart. It could be confirmation that you are an Aries, a Leo, a Sagittarius. It could be your sun sign, moon sign, rising sign. So, you know, you could just have a lot of fire heavy elements in your birth chart. So, even if your sun sign, for example, is not one of these, that's okay. I would say check your birth chart and see, where you may have fire signs, and that could be your confirmation right there. So yeah, this could be a message for people who are fire signs. So that's basically what we have going on here for you guys. For pile number 1, our red Jasper dog carving group. So hopefully these messages resonated for you guys and it makes sense for you. I really hope that you guys have a wonderful, magical, safe, and happy 4th of July, of course. And like I said at the beginning of this video, you know, before you leave and check on out of here, if you could give this video a thumbs up, that would definitely help me out a lot. And also drop me a comment down below. Let me know if this resonated or not for you. Also, if you're not subscribed already, I invite you guys to go ahead and subscribe and to hit the notification bell so that way then you know whenever a new reading comes out and you're right there on top of it. So I definitely invite you guys to do that. And just so you know, I am open and available for readings. So if you are interested in getting your own personal private reading, just hit me up on my website at shadowandshine.com and you can get your own personal reading right there. So that's basically it, you guys. Like I said, I hope you have a wonderful and amazing 4th. I am so incredibly grateful for you all. And yeah, that's basically it. So I am sending you lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the Moonstone for our white group for red, white, and blue, then this is going to be the reading for you to find out what's in store for you for the 4th of July. All right, I'm going to put our little Moonstone buddy right here, right in front of the candle, and let's dive in. Let's get into it. So I pulled from a few different decks here for you guys. I'm going to start with our tarot cards right here, which is from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer tarot deck. Which is pretty new. I haven't had this deck very long, so I'm still kind of getting to know it a little bit. The cards are still a little stiff, but, you know, that's okay. Let's dive in and see what's going on. What do you guys need to know for the 4th of July? What is the energy we're tapping into here? So I'm going to go ahead and lay these guys down, and we'll get into it. All right, so first up, I'm terrible with Roman numerals, so just give me a minute to count. I'm so bad. I really need to get better at Roman numerals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. So we have the 9 of Scythes. And in the Buffy tarot deck, the scythes are basically swords. So we have the 9 of Swords here, or 9 of Scythes. So we have that going on. And we have the 10 of Chalices, which is also known as the Cups. So the Chalices or the Cups here with the Buffy tarot deck. So this is definitely a very positive card. 10 of Cups, 10 of Chalices. We have the... how many stakes is this? And stakes are wands, just so you guys know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of stakes, aka the 9 of wands. And we have the, I think this is the 10 of stakes. So I'm gonna double, wait, 5 of stakes? No. 5 of stakes. See, I need to get better Roman numerals. I'm like, I don't want to count all these. So we have 5 of stakes, aka 5 of wands. I really got to get better with Roman numerals, you guys. Anyway, yeah. It's just not my thing. Anyways, I have my little booklet here. I figured we would just check in on our stake energy. For one of the other, for the first group that I already did, you guys, one of their stake cards, it's funny because it looked really unhappy and it looked really miserable on the card, but the definition was actually really positive, which is why I double checked, just because it is a little bit different from just like regular traditional tarot. So we're going to get into this 5 of stakes here first, because that just so happened to be the one that I opened up to first. So here is what the book says. The 5 of stakes finds you feeling like you've stumbled into a pack of teenagers turned hyenas. Snarling, growling, infighting. It's been even worse than dodgeball. Your job is to avoid getting pulled into the fray. How can you stop and listen to what everyone is saying? How can you learn from differing opinions? This card encourages you to seek value in conflict, to uplift underrepresented voices, and to rise above the pack. So I had a feeling that's what like the main theme there was basically conflict, which quite clearly it is. Let's double check on that 9 of stakes while we're at it, since we're still in the stakes department. So that would be this card here, the one with Spike. So it says, being brave and heroic sounds great, but what about when you're getting your butt kicked left, right, and center? The 9 of stakes finds you recoiling from a punch in the face, bruised and weary, but still fighting. When this card appears, it means your courage is being tested. But guess what? You have a secret weapon, the people on your side, surrounding you with love and support. So keep swinging, because you are one hit away from defeating your enemy. So honestly, these 2 stake cards, I feel like really go hand in hand with what's happening for you guys over the 4th of July. And I wish I could deliver better news and say, oh, it's going to be happy and joyful and there's going to be celebrations. And I'm not saying that there won't be good things, but I'm saying that there may be some challenges and there may be some disruptions and conflicts on the way there. Because, I mean, straight up, you know, right away, you know, that 5 of stakes, it's all about conflict. So I feel like whoever you may be spending the 4th of July with, like especially if you're not spending it with friends and maybe you're spending it with family, and I know, you know, family can be really touchy for a lot of people. A lot of people have a lot of trauma revolving around their families. There are a lot of people who are in no contact with their parents and things like that for all kinds of various reasons. So I feel like whoever it is you may be around over the 4th of July holiday, or maybe when you're on vacation or something like that, there's going to be tension. There's going to be conflict. But with this 9 of Stakes card here, you know, it's basically saying not to give up. It's basically saying to stand your ground. So, you know, confrontation can be very intimidating. It can be very difficult, especially if you're someone who's maybe more introverted, especially if you're someone who just, you know, wants to avoid conflict and keep the peace. And while it's very admirable to want to keep the peace, there's a time and place to keep the peace, and there's a time and a place to actually stand up for yourself and fight. And this may be one of those opportunities where you're going to have to rise to the occasion and stand up for yourself, which can be scary and not easy and not fun, but it feels like that's something that's going to be on deck for you guys. So not exactly the most fun energy, but let me get to the other 2 cards, because I think that may kind of clarify the rest of the situation. So I feel like after this conflict, after the not so good stuff, you guys are going to have to tap into this 9 of Scythes energy, because the 9 of Scythes is all about rest. It's all about relaxation. So, you know, especially if you guys go through some kind of major confrontational issue, you know, if it drains a lot of your energy and everything, you guys are going to need to take some time to recalibrate, to rejuvenate. You know, we have Vampire Buffy here laying in the bed, and that's usually like a normal thing when it comes down to the 9 of Scythes or the 9 of Swords. There's usually someone there who's like laying down, and that's what that basically means. It's like you need to lay down, you need to rest. You may need to physically rest. You may need to like take a nap or something afterwards, and that's okay. So I feel like making sure that you guys take that time to have some rest, that's going to be very beneficial to you. It's something that you're going to need to do. You're going to have to recharge that battery, because all this here is really going to suck a lot of energy out of you, and you're not going to be able to get to that 10 of Chalices that's coming up here. You're not going to be able to get to that if you don't take some time for some self-care to kind of patch yourself up afterwards. So next up is that 10 of Chalices, and the 10 of Chalices is honestly like the really good news here, because this is ultimate fulfillment emotionally. This is happiness. This is joy. You know, we have Willow here. You know, she's kind of in her own little meditative state, and, you know, it's like she's glowing, she's happy, she's filled with joy, is what it comes down to. And funny enough, if you guys are familiar with the show at all, this was at the very end of the series when she was like activating all the Slayers. So in this like peaceful, joyful moment of expression that she's having, they were actually in the midst of a major conflict when this happened. So I feel like this card here is here to remind you guys that you can still have your joy. You can still have peace. You can still feel all the good things within yourself in the midst of any chaos that does come up during the 4th of July. That you don't have to allow anyone to rob your joy or to rob your peace. That you're the only one who is in charge of that. You know? So don't give it away. Don't give it away for free at all. So, you know, you guys can be the eye of the storm. You know, you may be in the middle of a hurricane. It may be chaotic and twirly and tornadoes and lightning and thunder and everything all over the place, all over around you. But you can be that eye of that storm. You can be silent. You can be still. You can be calm. You can be peaceful, rested. You can be full of joy. So I feel like that's what this is a reminder here of. That if you keep that in perspective, even if there are challenging times through the holiday, you can still come out on top on the other side, and it doesn't have to ruin your 4th of July celebration. So let's get into your next cards here. Next up, we have some cards from the Ice Cream Oracle. Naturally, I thought that was a very good idea because, you know, it's summertime. It's a summer holiday. People are going to be having ice cream, so let's have some ice cream. So you guys have Grape, Prophecies, Spirits, Magic, Peppermint, Conscious, Realizations, Awakening, White, Chocolate, Raspberry, Sensibility, Decorum, and Elegance, and Key Lime Pie, Good Omens, Luck, and Blessings. So we're going to start here with this Grape and Peppermint. So I feel like these two kind of go hand in hand here. So it's funny because in the first group, they also had a card that came out in their ice cream cards that was kind of like on the woo-woo side, I guess you could say. And especially Grape, I feel like is kind of more on the woo-woo side itself. So, you know, ultimately, if you guys are here watching this reading, most likely you guys are, you know, into this kind of stuff and you're probably awake, you know, you're probably intuitive, you're tapped in, stuff like that. So I feel like if anything, this is kind of just like confirming that. And, you know, sometimes when you are awake, when you are intuitive, when you are like consciously aware of what's going on and stuff like that, it can, unfortunately, cause conflict, especially with those who don't understand it. So it could be connected to that as to what's going on here. But I feel like with Grape here, with the Prophecies, Spirits, and Magic, you know, like you always have the opportunity to manifest the life that you want. You always have the opportunity to, you know, tap into that magic within you. So try not to lose sight of that through everything that goes on. And with Peppermint here, with the conscious realization awakening, you may be someone who is going through your awakening right now. And if you've already been awake for a while, you know, it's funny. I feel like we always go through like new layers of awakening. Like awakening never really stops is what it comes down to. It's like an onion. You're always peeling back new layers. It's like, oh, I'm awake to this now. I'm consciously aware of this now. You get a little deeper and then you hit another layer and you're like, oh my goodness, like this is another huge epiphany, another huge revelation kind of thing. So over the course of the 4th of July, you could be going through another awakening is what it comes down to. And usually when we go through challenging circumstances like conflicts, disagreements, arguments with other people, it can be very enlightening to something that you may need to see and something that you may need to understand coming out of that. As for the other two here, with the White Chocolate Raspberry, the Sensibility, Decorum, and Elegance, I feel like this card is basically a reminder of, you know, don't lose your cool, you know? It's like, it's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay to defend yourself. It's okay to, you know, say what needs to be said. But make sure that you're saying it in a way that is still coming from a loving place of truth, that it's not in an attacking kind of a way. So don't sink to someone else's level if they start playing dirty, because you're better than that. You know, you have a sense of elegance about you is what it comes down to. And I feel like other people probably do know that, and that may kind of piss them off even more and make them even more riled up when situations come up and happen. But yeah, the point is here is like, you know, don't stop taking the high road, because this is definitely the energy of someone who is the bigger person, someone who takes the higher road. That doesn't mean that things don't bother you and that things don't get to you, which is, you know, why taking time to rest and take care of yourself here is so important. But the point is like, towards your adversaries, you're not going to let them know that they're getting under your skin. You know, you're going to, you know, take that high road and be just like, you know what? I am not going to engage anymore. You know, I'm not going to engage to the point where it gets to a toxic level. When it starts getting toxic, I'm going to bow out. And I think because of that, because you are aware, because you are awake, because you are tapped in and you're doing the right thing, you're holding on to your peace, you're holding on to your joy through all the chaos, through all the craziness, that's where this key lime pie comes in, of good omens, luck, and blessings. And that, you know, you may not feel very blessed in the moment when those things are happening, but just remember that there are good things on the other side, that there are blessings coming for you, that, you know, I know that there's a lot of shitty things happening in the world right now. And a lot of the times it's very easy to ask ourselves, like, why do bad things happen to good people? Why do good things happen to bad people? Totally legitimate questions. You know, a lot of us struggle with that. You know, a lot of us look at like what recently happened with like that Ocean Gate thing. And it's like, you know, there are people starving in the world and there are billionaires going down to the ocean to basically die. Like, it's such a waste, like the whole thing. It's like that 250 grand could have been put towards, you know, children in orphanages or something like that. So I think we all get frustrated with that. But that doesn't mean that the good things aren't coming. That doesn't mean that there aren't positive things on the way. That doesn't mean that like all of the goodness in your heart is in vain and going to waste, because I promise you that it is not. I promise you. All right, finally we have a few cards here from the That's So Y2K Oracle. So let's see what we get. All right, first up we have air signs and Cisco. Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So this card here could be a confirmation simply of your sign, or possibly strong placements within your birth chart. You could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. I myself am a Libra sun and moon. I have a couple other Libra placements as well. But yeah, you could be any of those signs. And even if you're not one of those signs for like your sun sign, check your birth chart. You know, moon sign, rising sign. I would say like, you know, anywhere you have like a pretty strong area of planetary placements in these signs would be a pretty good indication that this may resonate for you. So we got air signs. And we have That's Hot, like Paris Hilton. You know what? Let me get the rest of the cards to see like what's this that hot maybe referencing. I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, I feel like that's kind of like a woohoo, thumbs up kind of thing, but oh, this is hilarious. So we got Oprah here. You get your karma, you get your karma, you get your karma. So not, you know, you get a car, you get a car, but everyone's getting their karma. And the funny thing about karma is that, you know, it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing is what it comes down to. So, you know, I feel like, number one, these people that maybe you have this conflict with over the 4th of July, you know, if their hearts are not genuine, if they are really not in a good place and they are being toxic or abusive or narcissistic or any of those kinds of things, karma is going to catch up to them and it's not going to be fun. But same goes in the other direction. You know, if you have a good heart and you're being kind and caring and you're giving, you're listening to people, you're helping people, that karma is also going to find you. That's where that blessings come in here. So I feel like, you know, take that where it resonates. I'm not saying like go and wish bad karma on the people you're in conflict with, because that may not be very good for your own karma. But if you're concerned about your own karma, I feel like this is just a reminder of, hey, you know, as long as you have a good heart and you're being good to other people, then karma will definitely pay you. And she's going to pay you good. She's going to give you a nice hefty sum in a way of thanks, in a good way. And, you know, who knows? Maybe that's what's hot here. Maybe that's what's hot. What's hot could be that karma that's coming in. It could be good stuff. Because like I said, the that's hot card, it's not a bad thing. That's definitely not like negative energy. Like that's like cool energy. That's like yay, good, thumbs up kind of energy. So it could be confirming that. Okay, we definitely have a theme here with hot. So now we have Nelly with It's Getting Hot in Here. So I mean, you know, maybe this isn't even as deep as I'm interpreting it right now. It is July. We do have a lot of global warming going on. So between Nelly and the That's Hot card, it could quite literally be saying that wherever you are in the world, wherever you're spending the 4th of July, it just could be downright hot outside. Is what it comes down to. It could be hot. You may need to turn on the air conditioning. You may need to have some ice cream yourself. You may need to make sure you're drinking plenty of water to stay hydrated. That's ultimately what it could be about. So, yeah. But, you know, if we're not looking at it from the quite literal standpoint of heat and temperature, you know, I would say, if anything, the other interpretation to that would be you're the one who is like on fire. You're the one who's hot. You're the one who, you know, is on the right track, who has that good karma coming. You just have to hold your peace, hold that center, and you're going to be okay. So I feel like overall, your 4th of July, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be smooth sailing. It's going to be easy peasy, because it probably won't be. You do have some challenges here that may arise, but there's a lot of good that can come out of this as long as you are, you know, really being conscious of what's going on with it in yourself and keeping your peace and being mindful of your own joy and doing the self-care and taking care of yourself. So that's basically what I have here for you guys and what is in store for you for the 4th of July. Hopefully this resonated for you. Before you guys click on out of here, I would really appreciate it if you gave this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. That definitely helps me out a lot. It helps me get seen in the algorithm. You know, share this with your friends. Especially if you think there may be something in this reading that might resonate for them. Who knows? Also, for those of you who have not subscribed to me, I definitely welcome you to, and I invite you to go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know every time a brand new video is uploaded. And if you are a returning subscriber, that's a new word, subscriber, I definitely appreciate you guys, and I'm so incredibly grateful for you, and welcome back, basically. So yeah, so that's basically it. Also, you guys, if you are interested in your own personal private reading, I do offer those. All you have to do is go to my website, shadowandshine.com, and you can check out the readings there. They are in the shop section and the reading section, so you can browse around to see what interests you. And it's a pretty easy process to pick a reading out and purchase it, and it'll be to you as soon as possible. So, yeah, so that's basically it. And I appreciate you guys, and I am wishing you all a very happy, magical, and safe 4th of July. I'm sending you lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose the blue calcite for our 4th of July reading, our last but not least group at all, for our red, white, and blue color, then this is going to be the reading for you, so you know whatever it is you need to know for the 4th of July holiday. Alright, we're going to put our little blue calcite right here in front of that candle, and we're going to dive into this. So I pulled some cards from 3 different decks for you guys, and we're going to get started with our tarot cards first. We have some tarot cards here from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer tarot deck, and it is my newest tarot deck. I haven't really broken it in very much so far, so it's kind of a fun new journey for me, exploring this here with you guys. It still kind of sticks together with the cards, but let's dive in. Let's see what you guys got. Alright, so first up is and I have told every single group this, and this has not changed at all. I need to get better with my Roman numerals because I'm just bad with Roman numerals. So I gotta take a moment here to count our scythes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what I thought it was. So we have the 6 of scythes, which is also the 6 of swords. So we have the 6 of scythes. The Queen of Stakes, which is the Queen of Wands, basically. They got, you know, different things for the suits as opposed to like the normal tarot. We have the Sun. And last but not least, we have the 10 of Scythes. Ouch. That one looks kind of painful. So we got a whole bunch of different energy going on here. Let me double check on this 6 of Scythes that came out first, and we'll dive in. We'll dive in. All right. So first up, the 6 of Scythes. Here is what it says in the book about the 6 of Scythes. No one asks for their lives to change, but it does. You are not helpless or a puppet. Take it from the Slayer herself. Okay, just like those first couple of lines I already know is like literally almost identical to a couple of lines from the show, but that's besides the point. If you know the show, you know. Like Buffy, the 6 of Scythes emboldens you to forge ahead, confident that you can handle whatever comes your way. Don't resign yourself to being a victim, but take ownership over what's next and shift your perspective to view it as an opportunity. Okay. So I feel like both of our Scythes cards kind of go hand in hand. So before I connect the dots between these two, let's talk about the Queen of Stakes here really quick. Okay? So the Queen of Stakes. The Queen of Stakes, otherwise known as the Queen of Wands, I feel like she represents you in this scenario, is what it comes down to. And the Queen of Stakes, she is very fiery, she's passionate, she is magnetic, she's charismatic, she's kind of a character, but, you know, it's just because she's big and she's bold is what it comes down to. She does not bow down to her dreams and her desires. And the character that they even have here, who is that? Oh, I thought that was Cordelia at first. That's not Cordelia. That's one of the newer Slayers. I forget her name. The one that hooked up with Willow in the end after Tara died. I don't remember her name. Obviously, she was not that important. A lot of people didn't want her to be with Willow because they wanted Willow and Tara to be together, but Tara was dead. Anyways, I'm veering off topic. Sorry. But even though that's not Cordelia, I was thinking Cordelia, and it's kind of like that kind of energy. Like Cordelia, she was charismatic. She was like the homecoming queen. She was the prom princess and all these other different things. And, you know, bottom line is, it's like people were just like drawn to her is what it comes down to. It's like that fire energy. Someone who is feisty, who doesn't give up easily, who doesn't back down, that kind of thing. So I feel like overall, this card is here to basically say, this is you. This is a representation of you. Now, you may not feel that you are this person all the time, but at least during the 4th of July, this may be the kind of energy that you may be embodying. Which makes sense because this is where we're going to get into our scythes. So first we have this 10 of scythes. And this is not fun. This is not a fun feeling. I mean, you can tell just by looking at the card. So this moment here is when Buffy had to kill Angel in order to save the world. And that was like one of the most painful things that she had to go through throughout the entire series of the show, because he was her true love. She had to sacrifice her true love in order to save the world, and no one knew about it when it happened. So that was a huge burden for her to carry. She wound up running away from home because of it, because it was so much pain. And that's what this card is about. It's about pain. It's about anguish. It's about painful endings. Like, this was a very painful ending. So I feel like you may be experiencing something like that around the 4th of July. This could be something that happened maybe even before the 4th of July, and this is just like an energy that's still kind of like carrying on through the 4th of July. That's honestly what I feel like. I don't feel like this is something that is going to happen on the 4th of July or after. I feel like this is something that's already happened. But the energy is here because it's very heavy, it's very dense, it's something that's easy to carry on with you. And unfortunately, it's something that's easy to carry with you into a time that should be a lighthearted and celebratory time. And that's kind of where this this Six of Scythes comes in. Now, as you remember in that description, which is funny because the very beginning part of that description, the quote that they were kind of like going off of was actually from this episode here, which is really funny. So that's why I definitely feel like there's a connection there between the two. But I feel like this card is basically saying, like, don't give up. Like, you have been to hell and back. Absolutely. You have every reason to cry, to not want to get up the next day, to feel devastated. And you should definitely feel your emotions. Like, you shouldn't bury them down. You shouldn't ignore them. It's a healthy thing to feel those emotions, but it's not healthy to stay there in those emotions. It's not healthy to never get up again and never get past that. And I feel like this card here is saying, like, you are a fighter. You are strong, and you can get up. And you can get past this. It may not happen all at once. It may take a lot of time, but you can do it. And the reason you can do it is because you are this fiery, badass person who is passionate and is magnetic. People like this don't just like lay down and die and give up. They may go through hardships, but they don't allow those hardships to define their life. They don't stay there, is what it comes down to. And that's where the sun comes in. And the sun is all about illuminations. I feel like the sun mainly here is saying, like, you may be kind of like this very cloudy, gloomy, depressive kind of place. It may be kind of stormy, but the sun is coming out. The sun is going to come through. You know, there's going to be illumination. There's going to be an explanation behind why you have been through what you have been through and how you can get through it and how to get on the other side of it. I feel like that's ultimately what this comes down to. It could also reference just the fact that it's going to be a very sunny 4th of July as well, quite literally in weather terms. But I feel like specifically in regards to this situation, it is saying that the sun is going to come out, that there is going to be better days on the other side of this. Let's get into your other cards here to see what else is going on. So we also have some cards from the Ice Cream Oracle because, of course, it is summertime. You know, it's prime time for eating ice cream, so let's see what you guys are munching on. We have charcoal licorice, which sounds disgusting when it comes to an ice cream flavor, but the message seems positive. We have innovation, invention, and revolution. We have coconut, protection, purification, and boundaries. Coconut sounds a lot better. We have candy loaded, social gatherings, celebration, special events. And we have maple, kindness, friendship, and support. Okay, so in regards to the 4th of July and in connection to all the stuff going on up here, number 1, we have charcoal licorice. Ignore the flavor. I cannot get over how disgusting this sounds either. But, you know, I feel like that this is a time, this is a season for you guys to reinvent yourself is what it comes down to. With innovation, invention, and revolution. You're kind of going through your own personal time of revolution. And we don't go through times to be innovative and transform and reinvent ourselves, usually unless we have had a catalyst to bring us to that point to do so. And that catalyst is usually something that's not easy. It's usually something painful. You know, it would be wonderful if all of us as human beings just chose to transform naturally all by ourselves and be just like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, like change and stuff. But usually it doesn't happen unless there's like something horrible that has happened. I don't know why we're like that as human beings. It's annoying. It's kind of like forced evolution. It kind of reminds me of like Pluto energy when it comes to astrology, because in astrology, you know, Pluto gets a bad rap being called the destroyer, but it really is not the destroyer. It is forced evolution is what it comes down to. It's ultimately trying to get you to a better place, but usually it's because we have been resistant up until that point, and that there is some uncomfortable changes that have to happen in order to get there. So I feel like it's very much that kind of energy. So, you know, once again, this is not easy. This is difficult, but it is an opportunity to reinvent yourself and take it to a better place. Now, when we are going through stuff like that, it's important for us to take care of ourselves, and that's where coconut comes in with protection, purification, and boundaries. Once again, when we are transforming, when we are changing, when we are, you know, kind of in that cocoon, when we're transforming from the caterpillar to the butterfly, it is a time of purification, because it's like all the negative, nasty stuff is just like being oozed out of our lives, whether it is, you know, our own mindsets and our own ways we view the world, or maybe a toxic relationship that's been in our lives. This could be in so many different ways, but it is definitely a very purifying moment. And when that's happening, it's important for us to put our self-care first in protecting ourselves and putting up boundaries. And, you know, boundaries are not mean. Boundaries are perfectly fine. And, you know, the most important thing is when you establish those boundaries, just make sure that you're not like building a wall that no one can penetrate ever again. You know, vulnerability is still important. If you know, put up a wall that's so high that no one can get through, that creates a whole other different type of problem. But definitely, you know, take care of yourself is what it comes down to. Put those boundaries up that are necessary where they're needed, with who needs them. Now, the positive thing, I'm going to come back to candy loaded, but the positive thing here with maple is, you know, you have kindness, friendship, and support. And, you know, you're definitely going through it. You're going through the ringer right now, and that's understandable, but I don't feel like you're alone in it. I feel like there are people around you in your life who love you, who care about you, who genuinely get you and understand you, and who are going to support you through this, who are going to give you encouragement, who are going to give you those words of love that you need to hear in order to help you make it to the next step, is what it comes down to. And this doesn't mean it has to be a huge group of people. You know, maybe it's, you know, a small handful of people. Maybe it's as many people that you can count on your hand, basically. And that's okay. But the important thing is that those people are being genuine and real. And just having one good friend by your side is, you know, it's absolutely invaluable. You cannot put a price on that. So try to focus on those good things, because you know, when we change our attention, when we change our focus, it's definitely going to make a difference when we're going through those difficult times. And then with candy loaded, social gatherings, celebration, and special events. So, I mean, obviously it is the 4th of July. So that is a special event. It is a celebration. So I feel like that kind of just describes 4th of July energy as a whole. But I feel like this is also saying, like, you're going to have celebration again in your life. You're going to have, you know, something to get excited for again. And once again, with social gatherings, you're not alone in this. This is something you're not alone in. You have other people around you who love you and support you, and, you know, who want to help you through all this so they can celebrate with you later when you've overcome and things are better. So I feel like that's what that card is there for. All right, finally, you guys, we have a few cards here from the That's So Y2K Oracle, and let's see what you guys got. Okay, so we have Heelys to escape my feelies. I'm gonna come back on that one. We'll see what we got. We have You Got Served, Altoids. Altoids are obviously very, very strong. That's very interesting. Please, please, please work. And it looks like, what is, oh, that's LimeWire. It's LimeWire. You guys remember LimeWire from back in the day? Like, basically begging LimeWire to want to work. And we have My Patience is Thin. As thin as, I mean, this isn't even just Y2K. This is like 90s right here, like 90s eyebrows. Okay, so we have a few things going on here. So I feel like, as I like knock into things on my desk, like what is going on here? What am I doing? Okay, so Heelys to escape my feelies. I don't even know what Heelys are. Like, I was around during the Y2K. I never had Heelys. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so I'm gonna go with the escape the feelies thing. I feel like, if anything, I don't know why shoes would make you feel like that's making you escape your emotions, but, you know, when we are in a really deep and dark place, especially with this 10 of Scythes here, with that painful endings kind of energy, and no one enjoys feeling that, obviously. It's very easy to want to not feel our emotions, is what it comes down to, and try to just, like, distract ourselves out of it. And you can't distract yourself. You know, the more you distract yourself, the less you're feeling what you need to feel. And the only way you can heal is to feel every icky feeling. Now, it doesn't mean that you stay there and you live in it. No, but you gotta acknowledge it and you gotta feel it. So I feel like this card is a reminder to, you know, not ignore your feelings, even the ones that you don't like. Because I feel like if you don't pay attention to it, the universe is going to serve your ass and give you an Altoid, and that's not going to be fun, because that's going to be a strong wake-up call. So, you know, this is a time of transformation right now, so take advantage of the transformation. You know, don't, like, fall backwards in it. And I feel like the last two cards are kind of connected very well together with the please, please, please work. Like, LimeWire, you know, back in the day, it was like you were trying to, like, download music for free, illegally, off of, like, dial-up modems and that kind of stuff. You know, before there was even LimeWire, there was Napster. I myself remember doing things like that, like, way back in the day. But, it can be very agonizing, like you're sitting on the edge of your seat, waiting for that stuff to kind of like work and go through. And it can also very much test your patience, is what it comes down to. And I feel like because you guys have been going through all these challenges and all this transformation and all this pain and suffering, you know, your patience has worn thin. You know, you're just hoping that something here eventually works out. It's like you're holding on to that last piece of faith, and yeah, your patience, it looks like this. It looks like these eyebrows is what it comes down to. So I feel like that's kind of just describing the overall frustration of feelings and emotions that you may be experiencing at this time going through this. And you know what? It's justified. It's justified, you know. Those are not fun feelings. It's not fun feeling impatient, but you know, it is what it is. I feel like, if anything, what may help you guys get through that is, number one, connecting with your people, connecting with your friends, the people who love you and support you. That can definitely help ease some of that pain. And also, you know, self-care. Self-care and taking care of yourself is what it comes down to. So I feel like those two things are going to be very helpful and very important to you. So not the easiest 4th of July, but you know, it takes time. It takes time and patience, and yeah. So, but you know, there's going to be more readings in the future, and my hope here is, I mean, I'm definitely going to try and do like monthly forecasts, you know, like, you know, the next one I'll probably do. I don't think I'm going to do one for July because we're already in July. The next one I'll probably do will probably be for like August. You know, I'll try and do something for like August, September, October, blah, 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 blah. But I might also do like weekly pick a card check-ins just to see like the overall energy. So, you know, this kind of stuff may carry over to see like where the progress of this situation is going in another reading. So, you know, stick around, find out. But hopefully this message resonated and made sense for you. Before you guys click on out of here, I definitely would appreciate it if you gave this video a big thumbs up. That definitely helps me out a lot. And also drop me a comment down below, share this video. Even just clicking on the share button without even sharing it, it still technically makes a huge difference. So yeah, so do all the things, interact with this video, because it helps me out, and I would definitely appreciate that so much. If you guys are not already subscribed, I definitely invite you to subscribe and click the notification bell, so that way then you guys know every time I have uploaded a brand new video. You will be the first one in the know about it. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Welcome back. I appreciate you so much, and I'm so happy that you're here. So yeah. And finally, you guys, if you are interested in a personal private reading, I am open and available for private readings. All you have to do is head on over to my website, shadowandshine.com, and go underneath either the readings section or the store section, and you will see a bunch of different selections for readings available. So if you're interested in your own personal reading, hit me up there, and I would love to help you out on your journey. So that is about it. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful, magical, and safe, happy 4th of July. And that's about it. So yeah, I am sending you guys lots of hugs and much love. Keep sparkling.